This is the best way to start a Monday. You know that?
Podcasts on Mondays are great.
They are. The energy's high. The coffee's flowing. And our good friend Josh Scott's with us.
Hello.
Always.
But it's not Monday for anybody listening.
No, it's Thursday.
Correct.
But we want to be transparent, you know?
So we're essentially going to cut all that part out, probably.
No. We're going to talk about what day we shoot. We're shooting on a Monday.
Shooting on Monday.
It is 12:31. Our goal is to eat at 1 o'clock at Mission Barbecue.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's transparency.
That's fast.
It's very nice outside, too.
Yeah.
So thanks for being on the podcast. Got Josh.
Hi, Stefan.
And Josh.
Hi, Stefan.
Fantastic. Hey,
Hi,
guys.
community.
Hey, guys. What's up to you guys
Hi,
out
Test
there?
family.
Thanks for listening and watching on whatever platform you are doing so. We really appreciate it. And as usual, we're going to go straight into some community questions.
I love starting
and answers.
off. It's like starting off the day right with community questions.
You know what? It just feels good.
It does. Okay.
Feels
All right.
good.
Let's have some
Josh
questions
Scott,
here.
you take it away, sir.
All right. Brian Bernardi says, status update on the Gremlins, ? Are you going to have 3D models of the pre-designed frames, ? I for one think it could be fun designing a frame. Could you work up some specs to get people started designing, ? Like mounting hole spacing, board size, etc. Period. Bonus points for having models of the motors, etc. Motors and ESC and flight test control design around.
I love this gentleman.
He had a lot of questions.
This literally, I cannot express how happy I am that this is the best way to start a Monday and the best way to start a first Q&A. Yes, absolutely. And if anyone's heard about the whole vision of the Gremlins, it's really to try to do what we're doing with our foam board airplanes, but in the multi-rotor world. Mm-hmm. And up until now, it's been very difficult. Our early days started with pine and plywood and things like that. But this is really, you can make anything fly, any materials. It really throws it to what the whole, foam board swappables really is. Right. And I had a great weekend with my son, Michael, my youngest. We actually designed his very own Gremlin frame as well. And I can run and grab it really quick, but only people watching is going to see it.
That's true.
But the answer is yes. What we're going to do is we're going to put out specific patterns for the motor mounts and things like that. And what I did with my son was I actually gave him the motor mount holes, and I should shift things around to make the motor spacing the way you want it. Right. And I gave him predetermined, things like the battery size, the camera size, and I let him move it around. And he had a cool little, drawing of it really quick. And we got to spend, probably about 30, 40 minutes of quality time and design his very own frame.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I haven't flown it yet, but this is something cool. Right on our store listing, we're actually going to launch this with a STEM program that people can use to jump into STEM. And even if you're a parent wanting to get in this hobby, you can just immediately start this project with education in mind.
That's fantastic.
So it's going to be free download. Normally, teachers' licenses are like $100. We want people to understand how they can use the hobby as a tool. And we're going to have that right on the front page so people can do that. Jake Marshall did a killer job. I think it has to do with props, how they work, things like that. But you're going to immediately see how the Gremlin can fold into educational platforms. Last thing with what Brian said is we want to have obviously all of our designs. If it's a 3D print, we're going to post it. If it's a 2D drawing, we're going to post it. But we also want the community to share as well. So our hope is that when you go to the Gremlin page, it's going to flesh out to a way where you're going to see everyone's different design Gremlins that the community is sharing, that we're sharing. You can download those for free. We're going to obviously have kits, and when you buy our power pack, we're going to have a Gremlin kit that you can choose to put inside that pack. But our hope is that the community will contribute a lot of those designs, whether it's 3D printing, 2D, as well, and make them really nice, high-quality articles with free downloads.
He said 2D.
and hopefully at the end of the day, we can even tap into that. And if enough people in the community want to see that as a kit, we'll make community release Gremlin frames.
Nice.
So obviously we talk a lot about the store. That is one of the main components that supports us. We're up to 27 employees, and we are a family-run business, but now we're a 27 family-run business. Right. And we want to see that grow. We see so many awesome young men and women saying, I want to work for Flight Test someday. We want to grow that. So this is really a special way to see this hit education, hit community, and also hit the ability to employ more people.
Right.
On.
It's always really cool idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Craig Siegman says, I normally just listen to the podcast, and maybe it will be hard to explain without a visual, but can you explain the correlation between rotation of motor and some of your model's thrust angles?
Yeah. Yeah. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And also that creates obviously a rotational torque. So as a prop resists, the motor's going to want to rotate the opposite direction because there's resistance in the air. There's also something called P factor. And that's where the slipstring is going to travel over the aircraft in a spiraling form. And it's going to end up hitting one side or the other depending on its rotation of the tail. So the prop is spinning this way. You got the flow going around the fuselage, and as it hits the fuselage, it's going to hit one side of the tail or the other, depending on the direction the prop goes. So that has to be counteracted with thrust angle. If you think torque obviously causes an opposite reaction, the P factor, but also where the engine is mounted and how the wing lifts will give you an idea of how much down thrust or rarely ever up thrust you need. Generally, if you have a power plant that goes very fast, you're going to have that wing creating a lot of lift. That lift's going to have to be neutralized as you give it more power, so you have down thrusted. Right. And typically with the smaller the airplane, the more exaggerated the thrust angle for both pitch and yaw is going to be.
Okay.
Hope that explained it to you.
Very well done.
No,
that was great.
Yeah, I understood it, which means they probably understood
it. And I had my eyes closed the whole time to make sure that the people listening would get it too.
There's some killer diagrams for P factor and thrust angle that you could just type in P. Don't type in P factor. I don't want to tell people to do that, but there's some cool diagrams on P factor.
Cool. All right. Brandon Pierce Ruland. Cool name.
Hi, Brandon.
Not really a question, more of a suggestion. Would you try, well, you started the sentence with would, so it is a question.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you try to create an oblique wing aircraft? And you ended it with a question mark. So you got this, man. You're going with questions, dude. Like the AD-1 NASA aircraft. It would be awesome. A different look.
Here's a pic.
Yeah. Well,
why didn't you include the pic?
Well, the pic was there. I was shortening things.
Is it the hula hoop style? Is that the oblique wing, or is that the flat plate?
Yeah, it's kind of like a flat plate, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Like the has like a round circle.
Yeah, I think so.
Top, not the hoop, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the one.
Brandon, we are seeing your question, raising you many questions.
I'm going back into my head and stuff. I think it'd be really cool. Matter of fact, if you guys look, Peter Schriepel put out a killer project where he took 2 KFC buckets and did the Magnus effect, and we were laughing. If anyone hasn't checked out our friend Peter and his crazy contraptions, it was really cool.
Yeah,
and it was really cool to see all the failures turn into a success at the end. But it actually took me back to my childhood, and I used to have this kite that had spinning wings, and it wasn't Magnus effect. It was actually the wing would actually rotate with the wind, and it would make this kite go up. And it was pretty cool.
Wow!
So I was playing around with that design. But when I was looking for that picture came along, and there were a couple of planes that were designed in Alliance, Ohio, and I'm pretty sure an oblique wing design was created in Alliance, Ohio. They had the Taylorcraft, the Alliance Argo. I believe Waco was just down the road from us, Ronca. It was really cool how much aviation history, but I came across this oblique wing design that looked like it was tested right at Alliance, Ohio. Oh, wow. So kind of crazy.
You never know. Maybe something might pop up. You never know.
It's basically, but to be honest, it's basically a nutball.
Yeah.
It's a nutball with a fuselage on it. So
that's fantastic.
If you want to try it, put a nutball and then put like a tiny trainer fuselage and go out and fly it.
Check it out.
Yeah. Okay. Josh Fagan says, hi, guys.
Hi, Josh.
Will there be a Flight Fest Europe next year? And are you planning to release any more warbirds like the Hawker Hurricane?
Ooh, the Hawker would be really cool. We are hoping in 2018 to have a Flight Fest Europe, and the great folks at Grotner, we're partnering with them. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen. Right now, we're just trying to get through Flight Fest West, and that's going to be our first example of a event held, on a different coastline, where we're traveling to the event. So what we learned from that, and hopefully Flight Fest South in Florida, we're going to take it in 2018, do a Flight Fest Europe.
Yep.
So that is still our plan. We're definitely going to be looking at that after. Probably Flight Fest East will really put a reality check on whether we're capable of it. But our heart is to really come to you guys and spend some quality time. And the great folks at Grotner have been doing a great job at distributing our parts, but also while we're down there visiting with them, we got the opportunity to go around and see some different locations. Such beautiful area. It's gorgeous. Stuttgart, Germany is kind of where we're throwing a pin at right now.
It's a beautiful place. It really is.
Nice. Yeah. What about the Hawker Hurricane?
Hawker Hurricane's awesome. That's a complicated build. I'd like to, with what we're doing with foam board now, go back and revisit the Corsair now. That's on my hit list, and then also do a Storch version 2, not a Storch 2, but another trainer warbird, like an L5 or something like that.
Oh, very nice.
But the P40 and the Hawker would be 2 really great projects. I think they should be should be attacked soon.
Yeah, and if you want to go and attack it yourself if you have the opportunity to. There's a lot of great people on the forums and the articles. You can get a lot of good information from. I'm sure a lot of people know what these airplanes are all about. If you have the opportunity, go and attack it and write an article, write a forum post, get some people involved, and see what the community comes up with.
Yeah. A lot of our inspiration comes from the community doing projects that we initially thought were too hard to do.
Exactly. 100% true. That's fantastic.
I'm going to mess up this name maybe. Chewit McDonald.
Sounds good.
That name makes me hungry all around. How easy do you think it would be to build the Fokker DR1 3 times bigger than the plans?
I think it would be really easy and really fun.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it'd be really cool. If you look at the build technique of the Sportster and those kind of wings, it would fit beautifully with that. So, yeah, I think it's definitely doable and would definitely be a fun project. Take a huge motor. If you think about that, 3 times bigger.
Yeah.
The amount of drag on that plane, you would need something legit.
Something beefy.
Something like a really slow, low KV, high cell battery, a torquey prop swinging like a 20-inch blade, you know?
That'd
So
be,
you figure that would be like this big.
yeah, that'd be cool though.
Be really cool.
Man.
You guys can't see that, but I'm opening my arms up.
Dude, someone's got to do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, chew it.
I believe in you.
Do it, Chewit. All right. Samuel Phelps. Hey, Stefan. Spotted a boomerang in a local charity shop and had to grab it. Any advice on throwing it? I feel like that's a little bit of sarcasm.
Right. Yeah. If you haven't seen the video, Alex and I and Mitch, we actually went out and tried to throw this boomerang that Alex had from his father, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We obviously didn't throw it correctly and are not very good at boomeranging.
I think you guys did great.
We had a lot of fun, that's for sure. I almost got my head taken off. But no, there are a lot of people on that from the video, though, that commented and letting us know how to throw it, what kind of, boomerang to get, all that kind of stuff.
That boomerang was really good at going into the dirt. Every time you guys threw it, it went exactly into the dirt pile. So I think you guys are doing everything right if you wanted to throw it into the dirt pile.
Right. Yeah. So if you haven't watched the video and you want to throw it into the dirt, watch the video. If not, on the video in the comments, there's a lot of people that told us how to exactly throw it. So
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
That was basically the main focus of the
So
comment.
Samuel Phelps, go and check out the comments because they could easily tell you much better than I could. There's something about the wrist and the angle. Yeah. Anyways, we'll
don't
check it out.
know.
I don't have any idea. I did read the comments, but I really don't know.
All right. This next one's from our good buddy, Michael Finley.
Mikey.
What's up, man? Anything new you guys are excited about from any of the manufacturers?
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
There is a game changer coming up. I'm not even going to name the manufacturer.
Don't even name it.
But there's going to be a really cool special release that we're going to showcase coming up from a key manufacturer that has really done something special. So, and I don't, like I said, we are on a NDA. Is that what it is?
Non-disclosure agreement.
I can say there's a certain manufacturer with a certain awesome product, and it's going to be huge. So, sorry, I can't.
That's
can't
vague, but exciting.
That's vague. I don't know. I don't want to burn down a relationship. You know, what I mean?
Right, I heard
with
that.
anybody. But I'm literally counting down the days to get my hands on one.
Cool.
That's awesome.
All right, Kevin J. DeVore. How can I become a beta builder? I have a deep love for this hobby and helping others fly. How? Oh, wait. Okay. How? I sense your desperation. Can I become part of this beta team?
We just talked about this the other day.
Yes. Yeah. And right now, the beta team, I believe, is 13 people long.
Something like that.
And our vision is really a different one. They have been a huge blessing to us, and they're going to be around for a very long time. But we don't want a beta builder team. We want a beta builder community, and we want to be able to share designs to get feedback, but also to showcase releases and other people. We just now kind of revealed the names of the beta builders and everything to give them proper shout out and love. But there's something we created years ago called FT groups.
Right.
And the original vision with FT groups was to have what we have at Flight Fest, where people are helping each other, building together, laughing together, designing, doing crazy projects together. One thing further we wanted to do is give them the ability to make groups.
Right.
And what we would do is say we have something like, the Hawker Hurricane. You know what I mean? And we want to showcase that group. What we would do is, where the beta builders have to hand cut everything, we would send out the kits, and then we would send out a secret video, and they would build it as a group, fly it as a group, record the experience, and then we would actually share that group and showcase that group as they test it out, get their feedback. So it's kind of like a community-based review on it. So,
Awesome.
So with that, it gives us the ability to reach out into other things, but we want people not being by themselves. We want them to be groups. We want to see 10, 15 people engaging each other, building those relationships, and we want to reward that. So my advice to you is the beta builder team is pretty filled up.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to be adding more people, but what we do want to see is people build large FT groups, and then those large active FT groups are going to be the ones that we're going to be giving free product to, to be part of the release, review, showcase them on the videos, give them, shout outs, because we want to give people an example. Wow, that's a huge fly.
Watch out for that.
That was a fly you aggravated. You tried to kill it earlier.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay, sorry
for that tangent, but there was a fly in here earlier.
I mean, it was like the size of a Volkswagen Beetle with wings.
It's the size of someone's nose. It really was.
Yeah. Okay. But that's going to be our goal. So long story short, build an FT group, look at all the great functionality, get your network of friends going, and then showcase that, and we'll find that. And once we do, we're going to be sending kits out to do it. So that means we got to work ahead a little bit, but that would be my advice.
Cool. We doing good on question time?
Yes, we're doing great.
Okay. Lee Harvey says, can you maybe fill us in on expos and if there is any science behind dual rates, etc., or do you just wing it?
I like that pun there. Well played.
Josh, do you remember the original first dual rates and expo episode we did?
Yes.
It was like our 5th or 6th episode we ever did.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Yeah. There is a science to it, right? And you chime in because I talk too much, but dual rates, your rates is the amount of throw of your stick. So if you cut your rates in half, you're cutting your throw in half. And by throw, I mean if your elevator moved 12 degrees and you cut your throw in half, it's only moving 6 degrees.
Right, even though you're still moving the stick the same amount that you were before.
Exactly. So that's your rate. So rates is one thing. Expo is basically you take that curve that you just dialed in and defined, and you put that on an exponential curve. So in other words, instead of being a straight line from 0 to 50, you're going to be going basically, it'll be 0, 1, 1.5, 3, 3.5. And wherever you put that curve, it's going to give you a softer center stick, and then it's going to exponentially increase to make that curve complete.
Gotcha.
What it helps you is as you're flying really fast, you can soften your center stick so the plane's not jittery.
Okay.
Generally, a good rule of thumb is do 100, 30, so 100% rates, 30% expo, then go to 80, 30, and then go to 70, 40.
Okay.
So that's usually why I just plug in stock, because generally if you're flying the planes real twitchy, you can kick it down. The reason why the bottom one is 70, 40, you have a really fast plane like the MiG-3, and you want to fly real low to the ground, and you want that smooth flight. You can actually dial those throws down so you can have more stick movement for those finite adjustments, but you don't want to do anything erratic.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Yeah, start with
good
those
to know.
first.
Appreciate that.
Hope that answered your question, Lee.
Yeah.
Thanks for the pun. Jin Young Kim says, can you guys do a video on techniques to make scale aircraft like cylinder fuselage with a cylinder fuselage with foam board? Can you guys do a video on techniques to make scale aircraft with foam board?
I think that'll come with the Corsair.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch the MiG-3 review. We talk in great detail about mold and foam now and how to use a table as your friend and how to get those cylinders. I think when he's talking about cylinders, he's talking about round fuselages.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing I want to see the Corsair big one come out with.
I know a lot of people
board.
definitely want to see that come out sooner rather than later for sure.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talk on the in the community about that.
Top of the list. We're going to try to knock it out of the park.
And I think we've answered this next one already, more or less. Jared Rotenberger says, "What's the next warbird you guys are doing? Is that gonna be the Corsair?"
Yeah, Mustang. Their V2s I don't really count. So Mustang V2, we're gonna do a B back on it and a D model. So that way, no more poster board, top hatch design, and 2 different backs you can select to give 2 different looks. Spitfire's on the list as well. I don't really count those. Corsair.
Yeah,
will be on the hit list for sure.
Okay,
and I'm already drawing up the. I want to say there's two versions. There's the L5 and then there's another Warbird. I would like to get another Storch-esque, high wing. It could be civilian, it could be military kind of plane that people can learn off of.
Awesome,
nice. Okay, Alex Cunningham. When will we hear from Chad Lewis on the podcast? Would like to learn more about making my creations look cool. Chad is very good at what he does.
That's a great question.
I guess I can just make him come on the podcast.
Yeah. You could. You'd be like, hey, Chad, get over here.
It's your job, Chad.
He's literally standing right there.
He just came around the corner.
Okay, I just got
actually.
the stare.
So yeah, Chad actually.
Chatty stink eye.
We've actually talked a lot, and this is a good thing to note. We've been talking a lot recently about having guests on the podcast. We just had our first couple of guests on the podcast. And as of right now to our side, they're typing in a password for their computer. So that's going on.
He's getting on my computer.
Oh, your computer.
He's going to
nice.
order something really expensive
Ooh,
now.
I love it. So can't wait for that. So we want to have guests on the podcast, but we also want to do some spotlights on the people that work here.
Yeah.
So actually, to the note of this question, yes, Chad will be on a podcast sometime in the near future. Even though he might not want to be, I'm gonna bring him on and have him sit right there by himself and just drill him.
He's quite possibly one of the most humblest dudes. He wants to do a great job. He puts great pride in his work, but he's okay being behind the camera. And he has so much knowledge, and he's such a great presence. So
and it's really cool to see that. And I think we're gonna do one with the video guys.
Yeah,
we did one on Megan a while back. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Very interesting. We've done one with Josh Scott, obviously, with a bunch of things that he's done outside of FT and stuff like that.
My bride.
Yes, and your bride. So so we're gonna keep continuing to do those things just as schedules align themselves, etc. So good question.
Yep.
Always a good thing.
James Stewart, hey, loved you in It's a Wonderful Life. Says, what's the deal with the new Adams white foam board? It sounds like the setup for a stand-up joke.
I know. It's like the scandal that's rippling through the model aviation industry is the new Adams white foam board.
It's a foam board.
So long story short, Adams changed their paper style.
Okay.
On the craft white. Now we have water resistant. Let's just take anything that you see brown foam board from Flight Test. Do not associate that with what we're talking about. This is a whole different animal. This is if you go to Dollar General or Dollar Tree and you buy the Adams board. There is Ross foam board, and then there's Elmer's, which is both very white, very smooth. And I think what Adams was working on doing was trying to address the market with that need. Obviously, that kind of previous foam board that they had was fantastic for model users, but we're not the only people buying this material.
Right,
you know, they had to match what the market was asking for, and that was a whiter, smoother board. And their heart is really to give everyone what they want. So I have the utmost respect for Adams, and I feel for them because their new blend is instead of being like a long fiber paper, it's more of I want to say like almost like a crepe paper. Like it'll pull apart easier. You know what I mean? So, and where normally the paper fiber gives you the strength, it actually tears easier and is a little bit more brittle. Now that's unfortunate, but Adams is 100% committed to trying to find a master blend that works for everybody, and we can hope that they come out with a solution soon. So keep giving it a shot. Go to Dollar Tree, Dollar General, look at the forums.
Right.
A lot of people leading it. There was a miscommunication I want to just kind of address really quick. That somehow we were encouraging Adams to come out with an inferior foam board so we could push our water resistant. And there is no truth in that whatsoever. It's absolutely 110% wrong. We never endorsed that. Our water resistant, we're actually working to try to get into Dollar Tree and Dollar General so the price point goes down and people can get easier access to it and not have a plane that gets wet and gets destroyed.
Right.
That's where our heart is. We want to encourage Adams to obviously get the best they want, but look at the forum thread, look at the information. People are going, testing, and updating.
Right.
One thing I encourage you to do is talk to Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Don't blow up Adams' phone. Because talking to one person, it's the buyers. You don't buy anything from Adams. You buy from Dollar Tree and Dollar General. Talk to them and tell them what you want. So it goes through Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and wherever else they carry it, up to Adams. Because telling Adams they need to change what they do when Dollar Tree and Dollar General are the ones specking out what they want is not the way to do it. All you're going to be doing is tying up these poor people. And I cannot stress, I literally drove to Michigan. I spent a day and a half with them, toured their factory. These are good people, and they have a heart for the hobby. They really want to see us have success in it. So that's what I would recommend you doing. And also bring up water resistant. Adams has gone to bat. They've even traveled for us to try to get our brown water resistant foam board, which frankly is the best thing you could get for building these models. It may be brown, but you can duck it underwater for 24 hours and it's not going to peel.
Right.
That's pretty awesome stuff. So I hope I answered that accurately.
Yeah, no, that's
really
perfect.
good.
Yep. Okay. I think we have time for a couple more.
Sure. Okay. Patrick Sean Murphy. What's up, Patrick?
What's up, Patrick?
What is the best-selling FT design to date? The best one to go out on a date with.
All right. My favorite date would have to be May 5th because it's not too hot and it's not too cold.
You're answering neither question.
Light jacket.
Okay, sorry.
Movie reference. Put in the comments below.
Yeah. Miss Congeniality. Yeah. I'm headed in my main card right now.
Okay. Anyway.
He's sorry.
So he wants to know what's the best-selling
FT to date.
The best-selling FT. The Arrow is the fastest selling. It's been one of their newer releases, only a little over a year. We've sold, I think, a few thousand of those.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, thank you. And the amount of people that scratch builded it is probably 4x that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So really, really cool to see that. So I'd say the Arrow, the Storch, the Tiny Trader.
Yeah.
Those are probably 3 top sellers, and usually what we recommend for people. First great wing, first great, standard fuselage plane, and then a really good simple trainer.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, one more question. Dan Newens, I think, might be how you say it. Will Flight Test be attending EAA AirVenture this year?
AirVenture, yes.
When is that?
This registration. It is 2 weeks after Flight Test.
Flight Fest.
Yeah, Flight Fest East.
Okay.
So 2 weeks after that, and we will be there to what capacity, whether it's going to be the 100% the team, wives, everyone, we're not sure. Also, our goal is to really get content there and to engage and have fun with the community. So we may not have the same display that we had last year where we were anchored. We may be saying, okay, we're going to be at Aviator PPG's tent from this time to this time. And then we'll jump over and say, hey, we're going to be with AOPA for this time to this time. I'm speculating, by the way. But our goal is to really get content and engage community in different locations and kind of move around because it was such an amazing event. We want to make sure that we can get around and really cover it and share it with people.
Yeah.
Right. Indeed.
Very good. Thanks for your questions, everybody.
Yeah, it's fantastic. A lot of good ones. A lot of good ones in there. All of them are good, obviously. We appreciate all those getting together on the Facebook page and typing away. So one of the other things that today that we're going to talk a little bit about, a couple different flight test content articles. So one of the big things is, obviously, we just talked about a little bit ago, but the Flight Fest West. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on and a little update. Because obviously it's what is it like?
Well, it's time's ticking.
2 weeks?
2 weeks away,
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Don't worry. After Flight Fest West is over, we won't talk about it anymore. We'll talk about Flight Fest East.
Yeah. So really, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So Flight Fest West is coming up in about 2 weeks out in Vallejo, California. We're all the rest of the guys at the shop are pretty much down at Denison packing today, which is really cool because they got to send all this stuff there. This
will be our first over-the-road trip, as we talked about before. So we are packing up a big semi, and talk about stress, because I know when we did Flight Fest East, there's probably 50 times we were going back and forth with what we forgot.
Right.
So now we have one shot, and let's see, Austin, myself, Miss Megan. There's going to be a group of us going down about a week early. Chad Lewis, he's our great handyman.
Yep.
And then slowly, like every couple of days, we're going to have more and more of the team trickling in to Vallejo, California, and getting ready. So it's going to be a really exciting chapter for Flight Test to do this the first time.
Yeah.
And one thing I'd encourage everyone, this is going to be our first one. It's almost like Flight Fest for the first time again on a different coast. And give us grace because we were foam board benders, not event planners.
Not event planners, yeah.
But we do have an awesome team. Miss Jordan, who's on our team, she has a great organizational background. My wonderful wife with the store, and Austin, of course, and Artem, who have been there. Austin is basically the godfather of Flight Fest.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to just be an incredible year, and we would love so much to be able to see you there and meet you. And Josh, your wonderful wife's coming as well.
Yep, she is. Yep.
So
she'll be helping out in the store.
Yeah, we're bringing the families down.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be there. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you sign up and register. If you haven't got your pilot's pass, if you're going to be flying something, you have to get a pilot's pass, so you do so.
Do you know how many people we have already? It's crazy.
It's like over...
Last I checked, we had over 500 pilots, but that was like a week or two ago.
Yeah. And I don't know the exact numbers.
And along with that, we had 200 registered FPV pilots, which I think this is not like a race where 200 people sit and wait. This is like people saying, I want to actively fly FPV.
Right.
I think that's going to make it the world's largest FPV fun fly, which is crazy. It doesn't mean 200 pilots fly at once, but it does mean that environment's going to be very rich.
Yeah, and I think we're also getting close to almost 90 to 100 volunteers as well. So for the first one, that's fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you all for all of your support and all what you guys have done to make this a reality, because it's fantastic. Another thing is we just alluded to it on the vlog. Was our Spektrum cooperation that we've been doing.
Collaboration. Yep. Everyone knows that we love to learn and dig into different radio manufacturers. Years previous, we did Grapner, learned so much about them, had a really great experience with it. Right. This is something really special moving into this year with Spektrum. It's more than just a key sponsorship with radios. Spektrum has a real passion to get people in the hobby and give them the best experience possible. And that's obviously exactly what we do too. We really want people to have a good experience. And what we're going to be doing is working with Spektrum and really sharing all the key features, functionalities with their radios to help people make a good choice on which radio is right for them, and also take feedback from you guys and then give it to Spektrum to hopefully, bend how the product's being developed. So I've never had a company literally come in and say, here's an open door to our team. We want to make sure we're putting out the right products for your community to serve them the best. And that's my love language. That is everything you'd hope a company would be is saying, how can we create stuff that serves your community? And we need your help with that. So, we're going to obviously be talking a lot of technical stuff. We're going to be digging in deeper than we ever had with Spektrum. You're going to see it in a lot of episodes. And we're really going to be putting these things through the paces. And already from the vlog initial release, the top rated comment was fix the firmware on the DXE. Right. Guess what? That's going to be what we're talking to Spektrum about. Yep. And we want that. Obviously not just negativity, but those kind of things, we finally have a platform where we can engage and say, hey, there's an issue with the DXE firmware. Well, guess what the solution is? We get to do an episode on how to fix the firmware issue. Right. So really excited about this. So 2017 is going to be a real special year. And I say it's going to be, but it's like a third over.
Yeah, it already is. It's insane.
But so that's what it is. And right now it'd be kind of cool. A lot of people I saw in the comments is like, well, what radio is best for me? We have a DX9 here on the table if you're watching on the YouTubes. But a lot of people, you don't have to jump right into a DX9. Right. A lot of people say, what's the first radio? And just going through it, the DXE, if someone doesn't know if they even want to be in this hobby, DXE is a great radio. It's, I think, $99. It comes with a receiver, has wireless buddy boxing. You can actually even plug in, you can get this $15 cord that plugs into your iPhone, and you can change the settings. So it means you can have presets for multiple models. You can do dual rates. You can do expos. You can do mixes, basic mixes. You can even have profiles of different models that you can download and change. So even though it holds one model, you can actually make it fly multiple. And with our STEM programs, we actually use the DXEs almost exclusively because people can actually dial that into the phone and the kids can't really change those settings. Right. And say someone builds the FT Bravo, they can have the settings for the Bravo and they can instantly just take it and take that profile, shove it in. Now they're talking to a Bravo and everything just works. So that's a really good radio. I think one of my most favorite is the DX60.
Yeah, you've been using that quite a lot lately, actually.
Yeah, I want to live with them for a good month, before trying a different one. Yeah. And the DX60, it may be, at a $150 price point, but it is packed full of power. It has so many cool features. It has a self-centering stick if you have like the, the multi-rotors that are on control boards. It even has functionality like the ability to change radio frequencies and stuff like that. So a lot of advanced features built in. Of course, wireless buddy boxing. Spektrum is the easiest wireless buddy boxing to set up that I've ever had.
That's fantastic.
And good stuff. So we'll keep moving through the lines and kind of share our experience and video and stuff.
Yeah, and if, like I said, in the comments below on this video, on other videos, let us know what you're looking for, what you want to see, because like you said, we really want to not only engage the community, but we want to make sure that you guys have the best experience possible with all of our products. Yeah. Not just Spektrum, but any product that we have.
In the old days, we would think, we want to thank, remember the very early list was, we want to thank Hobby King for sponsoring this episode. Our influence, I guess you can say, with Hobby King was just what we were covering. If we did a bad review, we would get some insight, but we didn't have a seat at the table with every manufacturer. Right. And one thing that's different in our DNA with Flight Test now is, if we're going to have a collaboration or some form of a sponsorship, we want a deeper investment with that company and the influence. And we're very forthcoming about that. We say, we'll showcase this, but if there's a problem, we're going to let the community know it, and we're going to let you know it. Yeah. And we want a seat at the table to make that. The cool thing is normally that's a conversation that's kind of hard to swallow by other people. Yeah. Spektrum was like, yes, please, let's do this. And I think Austin and I and Alex and maybe even you, we're going to be taking a trip down there and meeting a lot of these people face to face, getting to build a closer relationship with them. So
that's fantastic.
We really appreciate the open dialogue because we're going to be taking this seriously.
Yeah, cool. And that'd be really cool to be able to be part of that. And thank you guys for all your comments and suggestions.
You made it possible for us.
Yeah, you guys literally have made everything possible. And to end this this whole podcast situation, obviously we had our good old questions and answers, a little flight test community stuff. One little thing was I was just looking the other day on the forums and on the articles, and a guy, it's a little community showcase, guy built a mini Speedster biplane.
Oh,
which is really
adorable.
Cool. Yeah, it is fantastic. And so obviously it's a flight test build, so it kind of rings true to our hearts. But he did like 3 different setups. He did the first one, got some feedback. Did the second one, got some more feedback, and just kind of rolled with the punches and made this beautiful, great painted little mini Speedster biplane. It's fantastic.
That looks so cool.
We'll have the link down below. But I wanted to read a couple different things. He started off with like an 18-inch wingspan, went to 20. Then he grew it to a 24-inch wingspan. And then one of the coolest things is that all the wings have 4 ailerons.
Okay.
So all 4. So the bi-wing just has all 4, which is a little bit different to see. You don't always have to go that route. Like obviously we've done a couple bi and triplanes which don't have all the
usually
ailerons.
It makes it very aerobatic when you put 4 on there, and also in different flight attitudes. Slow speed, high speed, you have more control.
Exactly. So, and the other big thing about this whole thing is that not only does he document it well, and even though there's no plans yet, he's planning on doing it, he put it around an F power pack, which is really cool. And also the kind of thing that he was using was looking forward to getting some information back from the community, and everybody kind of just came together. It was like, hey, this looks good. This looks good. What about this? What about that? And he made it into this beautiful flying biplane. And that's why, even though it's just a small little community showcase, it's something that we always want to showcase, is that the community getting together and building or talking. We just actually did an episode about some projects on the forums and articles. And all of them kind of had to do with the underlying fact of people coming together and building and talking about it. Because that's what we're all about. And at the end of the day, you ask questions from the beta builders. They ask questions from you. We talk about podcasts. We talk about different things we want to talk about on the podcast. I mean, it's all collaboration. And that's what we're looking forward to, especially in 2017. I think there's going to be a lot of great collaborations moving forward with Flight Test.
100% agree. It's awesome to see what people are taking things to and how they take it to another level when there's multiple, brains and minds and thinking into it.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
It's fantastic to have you guys here. Always a pleasure to have Josh and Josh on the podcast because of the wonderful relationship that you guys have. It's easy to
We are
see.
friends.
We are friends, not food.
We're almost even finishing each other's sentences.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are good at that.
Yeah.
What was it from the video earlier?
What's that?
Contra rotary.
Yeah.
Contra rotary. Yeah.
That's an inside
We had
joke.
to get that.
Yeah, wait till you
together.
see the video. It was. I'm sure Christian is going to have his revenge on us.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be some fun
A quick
things.
5-minute
He's gonna
video.
have fun
took,
editing that.
like an hour and a half to shoot because we couldn't say contra rotating.
Yes, that's fantastic.
I couldn't say contra rotating. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Josh did his part.
So,
Josh Bixler did not.
He crushed his part. I just could rotating.
Rotating.
You got it now, though.
Man.
Yeah, contra rotating.
Next time you're gonna hit it
killing
out of
it
the
now.
park.
Love it. And guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate everything you guys do.
Hope to see you at Flight Fest West.
Yes, hopefully see you guys there. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button for more content coming out in the future, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Deuces.
Flight.